All right. Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here today for our BSPU call. Today is book to income strategies. And I'm going to share with you a few specific strategies. I'm going to kind of give you an overall process that I recommend that you use. We'll break down the process and then we'll talk about some specific ways that you can start using the process yourself. Some of you may know the author of this book, if you can see it, The Science of Scaling, Dr. Ben Hardy. Dr. Hardy has written several excellent books. I don't think any of them are New York Times bestsellers, but maybe one or two are Wall Street Journal or USA Today bestsellers. And he started a new business about a year or so ago called scaling.com. In fact, I think it was less than a year ago. And he has taken that business from zero to $700,000 a month in less than 12 months. Now, I am extrapolating some of that data, but he has shared some of that as well. I'm not making any income claims for him of what he is earning, but I've seen it because, first of all, I have become a client of his and have paid him $24,000 to be a part of scaling.com, along with 350 or so other people. So let me tell you how I became a client of Dr. Hardy. And let me tell you what I see him doing right now to attract clients into his business that, as I said, has grown to almost an 8-figure business in less than a year. This book right here, The Science of Scaling, he sent to me for free. Yes, I requested it. He sent an email out to all of his previous clients, people that had paid him $1,000 or so. And I was in a program of his previously that I spent $1,000 on. Quite honestly, I didn't get much out of it, but that was my fault. That was not his. It was a large kind of group coaching program. It was an end of the year sprint almost. It was something that I was supposed to participate in, and I didn't participate all that much in it. So I wasted my $1,000, but he saw me as a past client, somebody that had spent money with him, and sent an email out to all of us. I don't know how many are part of that group. It could have been several thousand people, maybe as many as 10,000 people. And he sent an email out. It was a very short email. It was a personal email, and it said, I've written a new book called The Science of Scaling. Would you like me to send you a free copy? Now, I've read his other books, and I really love them. And so I said, yes, send me a free copy. So this is a hardcover, right, with a dust cover. He mailed this to me for free. I read it. I devoured it. I've read it 3 times. I love this book. Highly, highly recommend it. And became a client of his that paid him $24,000. Now, he didn't scale his business from zero to $700,000 a month just from his past clients. But that was the first thing that I saw him do. Okay, that was what he had done as soon as this book came out, which was at the beginning of the year. The second thing that I've seen him do is he is giving this away to everyone for free. And he is using paid advertising right now, giving away the audio book and the ebook version to people for free. He is not charging them at all. Now, they have to go to scaling.com, which is his website, and get a copy of it. He's not putting it behind some long form, etc. But he does offer, if people are interested, for them to fill out an application and see if they qualify to be a part of his company, scaling.com, which is $2,000 per month. This is what he is doing and what he has done to scale his business. This is how he started the business, by sending free copies of his book out to past clients like me. And now he is scaling his business by giving away the free audiobook and the free ebook. Now, he's not any longer that I've seen giving away the hardcover, but he is giving away the audiobook and the ebook. Now, why am I telling you this? Because your book, if you've done a great job with it, and I believe you have, and I hope you have, your book is the best asset that you have to get whatever it is that you want. You want speaking engagements? If your book is in the hands of the right people, you're going to get speaking engagements. Do you want PR and media? Then if you get your book in the hands of the right people, and you've done a great job on it, then it is the absolute most powerful way to get you PR and media. Do you want clients? Well, if you've done a great job speaking to your ideal customer in your book, and you get that book to them, and it doesn't matter how, they don't have to pay for it. If you get it into the right hands, it's going to become an income strategy for you. Okay? I know this personally. It's what we do with my books. I know this because I've seen it happen with Ben, and I know it because I've paid him my own money simply because he got this book in my hands for free. I didn't need to pay for it. I was a previous past client and did write him a $1,000 check, but I didn't need to pay for it to be valuable to me. Okay? Now, I am laying this foundation and this groundwork right now because I know how you feel. You're an author. You hate the idea of giving away your book, right? You feel like it is offensive to you. You feel like, oh gosh, I don't want to do that. I've worked so hard at it. Let me tell you, the only reason you feel that way is because you don't have an income strategy attached to your book, okay? If you see this physical thing or the audiobook as your only monetization strategy, then of course you're going to have a hard time giving it away. Everything that I am going to be sharing today, as far as how to get this book into the right hands, has the foundation and the basis formed around the idea that you're going to make money beyond the royalties of the book. Okay? Now, if you haven't figured that part out yet, you need to. That's something I talk about, and you know I talk about on a regular basis. You've got to figure that out first. You have to have the back end. Whatever that be, whatever that is, you have to have something that people are spending more money with you for than just the book itself. So everything I'm going to be sharing has that premise. Okay, so let's talk about the ACE strategy for a moment. It's ACE, it's an acronym. A stands for AIM, and I'm going to share with you several different aiming points for you with your book, depending on what it is that you want. C stands for connect, because making any type of sale beyond this book is going to require people, connection to people. If someone is going to give you a large check, $24,000, for example, with me and scaling.com, there has to be a connection made. And then E stands for execute. And really, it should be ongoing execution, but that's not as clean as just ACE, right? So aim, connect, execute. All right, aim. Let's talk about that first. Remember the premise of everything that I shared, the foundation. What we want to do, what I want you to do is I want you to use your book in every way possible to get what it is that you want. It is your best, most powerful asset in the hands of your ideal client or the ideal person that you're trying to get their attention. So I've already shared how Dr. Hardy used his book to attract me, but let's nail that down. Number one is your past and current clients. You see, anybody that has spent money with you in the past or currently is 9 times more likely to buy from you than somebody that you've never met, that's online, that's scrolling through Amazon, that is looking at an ad of yours, that is watching your social media, etc. They're 9 times more likely. So what did Dr. Hardy do? Well, the first thing he did was he went out to people that had been past clients of his that had already spent money with him. And I guarantee you, I'm not the only one that re-upped and spent 20 times as much with him the second time around because of his book. So understand, you have past clients, you have current clients. The first thing you need to do with your book is make sure that your book is in all of their hands. Anytime you write a new book, it needs to get in their hands. They trust you, they know your work, they want to help you. They like you, and they naturally know people similar to themselves, which are probably your ideal clients. So the very first thing you want to do is you want to get your book into those people's hands, just like Dr. Hardy did getting the science of scaling into my hands. That's number one with AIM. Number two is any opportunity for joint ventures, for affiliate relationships, or for strategic partnerships that would be complementary to your company and to what you do. I've shared before, but Pamela Moss is a great example of that. Her book, Legally Ever After, that we just did her second book, Wealthy Ever After. She is an estate planning attorney. So who are her ideal clients? Well, more importantly, strategic partner-wise, who else has her ideal clients? Well, financial advisors, oftentimes realtors, people that are moving into a neighborhood, into an area. So she went out as soon as this first book was done, and she started finding strategic partners that she could give a dozen books to. Any financial advisor that she had a relationship with or she was building a relationship with, she would say, hey, look, here are 10 books. If you find a couple that meets these criteria and they're interested in maybe updating their trust, or they're interested in, maybe finding out if they need a trust or an estate plan, then just give them a copy of my book, give them my card, and let them know that if you give me their number, I'll be in touch with them. In the first 2 months of Pamela doing this, she got 5 clients, and a client was worth about $6,000 to her. And this is an ongoing strategy because financial advisors will continue to meet with customers and continue to refer you. So all you have to do is to continue building your base of strategic partners. The same with joint ventures or with affiliates. Right now, I'm doing a workshop on Thursday and Friday. I have 9 affiliates and joint venture partners that are emailing their lists on my behalf. Right now, 9. And a couple of them have lists as big or bigger than my list. Am I grateful? Of course. Am I going to, in some way, compensate them? Absolutely, I am. But the reality is, this gives me a tremendous opportunity for me to speak to their people that already like them, know them, trust them, and that have opted into my workshop. So joint ventures, affiliates, strategic partners, find out who has your ideal customer and get in front of them and lead with the giving hand by offering them your book so that they can give away your book and look like a hero to their clients. Okay, that's number 2, joint ventures, affiliates, strategic partners. Number 3 under AIM, right? What we're doing is we're figuring out who we're going to go to. Number 3 under AIM, and this applies to all of us, your sphere of influence. These are people that already know you, already like you, already respect you, already trust you, but they forget what you do. They might not even know what you do. I got a referral from a friend I have known for more than 10 years, and he sent me a Facebook message, and he asked me, he said, Rob, I know you help people write books, but do you also help people publish and launch books if someone has already written their own book? I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? This is a guy who's known me for 10 years. I spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on advertising, millions I've spent in the past on advertising, letting people know what I do, and he doesn't know. Let me tell you something. Your sphere of influence, people that you know and that you think you know well, some of them have no idea what you do. And they might be the perfect people to refer you, to share about you, to share about your book. I'm telling you, it happened to me this very week, yesterday, Monday. It happened to me. So I promise you, if it's happening to me and I'm spending all of this time, energy, and money to educate people on what I do, then I promise you it is happening with you as well. Your book solves all of the problems that you want it to solve. It reactivates old relationships. It gives them something impressive to mention about you in your sphere of influence, right? Wow, look. Look at this great book that Dr. Hardy, that my friend Ben just came out with, right? Your sphere of influence wants to talk about you. They want an opportunity to mention you. And it triggers these referrals, passive referrals that you may be missing out on because people don't have your book. That's number 3. Number 4 in AIM is business groups. What's a business group? Well, that's a general term, but I would say any group with shared interest that could lead to business for you. So that could be a mastermind that you're paying to be a part of, like I am with the Science of Scaling, or like I am with Perry Marshall's AMN group. It could be entrepreneurship groups that you're a part of on social media or otherwise. It could be local, like Rotary or Chamber of Commerce. It could be industry associations that you're a part of, right? It could be things that are affinities of yours, like, if you're in a golf group or you are in a car group. I just joined another club here in the Jacksonville area called the Patrons Club because I met some guys, I really liked them. I thought it was a cool group and I wanted to be a part of it. And they're having their Friendsgiving this week. Do you think I'm going to let these people know that I'm a best-selling author and can help them be one as well? Of course I am. Now, I may not bring, 50 books the first time I meet them, but eventually they'll get a copy of my book. Networking groups as well. If you go to networking groups, any type of alumni networks, that you may be a part of. I'm just giving you ideas, okay? You need to figure out what business groups mean to you, but this is just where you have connections. Get these people your book. Now, remember what the foundation of all this was. Like, what do you want your book to do for you is the foundation. For me, I know I want the book to lead to more people to become clients of bestseller publishing, that they would write their book, that they would ask for my help to publish their book, to launch their book, to make it a bestseller, to get on TV, radio, podcasting, to build a book funnel, etc. That is what my books are about. You need to figure out what yours are about, and then you aim. You figure out the aim point. That's the A. Let's go to C. This is simple, but it's really important. Connect. C is about connect. This surprises me about authors, but it's human nature, so perhaps it doesn't. Perhaps it's just true about everybody, and I'm just around authors all the time. But too many people want their book to do all of the work, and what you need to understand is your book does the heavy lifting, but it doesn't do all of the work, okay? Your book builds trust. Your book gets people to like you or dislike you, and either is fine, right? Because if they dislike you, then they're not going to be interested, and so you're not going to waste time with you. If they like you, then you're going to take them a long way down the road. But look, getting people to pay you is connecting with people. It requires a connection, and that can't be done only by the book. The book starts it, the book solidifies it, the book builds trust, the book takes them from 0 to like 99. And all you got to do is take them over the threshold. So what does that mean? It means that you still need to reach out, have conversations, follow up with people. If you send books out, and if you've watched any of my trainings in the BSPU area, then you know I share about this. But let me just say, if you send books out, then it is complete. It is incomplete unless you follow up with a phone call and you try to make a human connection with somebody. It's incomplete. You can't just send a book out and then expect your work to be done. No, your book is laying the groundwork for you. You still need to do what you need to do. So what does that mean? Well, let's say you want PR and media. Sometimes I share this. I don't know who I share it to or not, but my big break when I wrote my first book for my financial services company 16, 17 years ago was not on Amazon, was not book sales, even though the book did exceptionally well. It was because I mailed the book out to all the local radio and television stations. This was pre-Facebook and social media and all of that stuff. And I started doing follow-up phone calls, calling the producers of these shows. And finally, I got one on the telephone that had my book on his desk, and he was like, "Yeah, you want to come in and do an interview?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to come in and do an interview." But it was that human connection. The book laid the groundwork. The book showed me as an expert. But then it was the human connection that got me my first break and got me on that radio show. And if you know the story, I'll tell it anyway. That very first radio interview that I did got me my first client for my new financial services company because they heard me on the radio. They heard I was an author. They requested a copy of the book, and they called me the exact same day, that very day, because they heard the interview that I did. The book did it all for me, but guess what? I still needed to make a telephone call and follow up. I still needed to get myself booked. So if you want PR and media, you can get your books into people's hands, but guess what you have to do? You've got to push it across the finish line. You've got to talk to that producer. You've got to talk to that PR representative. This is what my team does all day. Yes, we send out our clients' books. We send out the one sheets that we do, the segment proposals. But guess what it comes down to? Making a telephone call and making a connection with a human being. So it's about connection. Your book lays the groundwork, but you still need to connect. So you want PR and media? Your book will lay that groundwork, and then you connect. You want speaking engagements? Fantastic. You want to be paid higher fees? Wonderful. Your book can lay the groundwork for that with event organizers, associations, with conferences. But guess what you're going to have to do? Pick up the telephone and talk to the person that is organizing the event. Pick up the telephone and speak to the person that runs the association, etc. You're going to have to do that. So referral moments. If you want referral moments to happen with past clients, you're going to have to speak to them. Your book will lay the groundwork. And yes, sometimes wonderful things and magic will happen where you don't make a call and an inbound call comes in. Fantastic. Don't count on that. Let that be the surprise. But we don't run our business based on surprises. We run our businesses based on things that are predictable. And what's predictable is using our book, getting it into people's hands, and then following up. By the way, you don't have to do any of this. You don't have to make the telephone call. You don't have to speak to the person. You don't have to, but somebody does. You can have an assistant do that. You can give a simple script. I teach all of that in our various programs. Doesn't have to be you. Ben Hardy never spoke to me. I never spoke to him, and I still paid him $24,000. Why? Because somebody else spoke to me after I read this book. He shared with me what they were going to do. I said I was in. So you don't necessarily have to be the one making the call, but someone has to have that human connection. And by the way, if you don't have a big business and can't afford to do all that, then it is you. You're the chief cook and bottle washer. I understand that. I wash a lot of bottles myself. That's the C. Connect. It's about people. Don't let that go. E, last point in this, execute. What does execute mean? It means to take steps consistently. My business, Bestseller Publishing, it needed new clients a year ago. Guess what? It needs new clients today. It needed new clients 14 years ago when I started it. It's going to need new clients next month. When I decide to run book funnels and do paid advertising, and I stop doing that, what else is going to stop? Well, the number of new client opportunities that Bestseller Publishing gets. I've got to be consistent. Too many people think, well, we're going to launch the book's going to do good, and it's going to be all on its own. No, use it forever. Forever. Publish Pro Profit is going on 8 years old. It's still being advertised today. I probably should come out with a new version of it, right? Second edition or something, but it's still working for me. Your book, if you're still doing the same thing you were doing when it was written, you still want the same things from it, then you need to take consistent steps. So what does that mean? Well, this can be an example for anything. It can be an example for lead generation, can be an example for speaking engagements, can be an example for PR and media. Let's say that you want speaking engagements with your book. Maybe if you start getting speaking engagements today and you're getting paid $1,000, $500, $5,000, whatever the number is, imagine for a moment that consistently the way you're getting speaking engagements is you're sending 5 books out a week. You're having your assistant follow up with the event coordinator, with the association president, with the conference organizer. And for every 5, let's be more broad. Let's say that for every 20 that go out, you're going to get a phone conversation, a conversation that could lead to you getting a speaking engagement. After 2 or 3 months, you're going to actually start getting offers. You're going to fall into opportunities if you just stay consistent. Now, here's the cool thing. If right now you're charging $2,000 for a speaking engagement, you now have 5 opportunities where people want to hire you for speaking engagements for the month of February of next year. And you're like, I don't want to travel 5 times in the month of February. Simple. Then raise your fee from $2,000 to $5,000. 2 or 3 of them will drop out. The other 2 of them will pay you the $5,000. This is called supply and demand. You understand how that works. As you become more in demand, and who's creating the demand? You are. You're sending the books out. You're making yourself known to these other places and organizations. As you become more in demand, what happens? Well, the supply goes down and your prices go up, right? Your availability goes down and your fees go up. So you need to be consistent. As long as you want speaking engagements, what should you be doing? Mailing books out, having conversations with event coordinators and organizers. After a couple of years, you may not have to do that anymore because you may have enough relationships to just feed the momentum, feed the machine, but probably not within the first year or 6 months is that going to happen. That's going to take some time. So what do? You execute. Every single week, you mail out 3 books, 4 books, 5 books. You put a sticky note on the book because it's personal connection that you're making. So you put a sticky note right on the front of it. Hey, Joe, I know you have a conference coming up in March of next year. Man, it's right in my wheelhouse. Here's a copy of my best-selling book. You don't have to read the whole thing, but check out chapter 11. I think you're going to love that, Rob. You send it out. A week goes by, your assistant calls to confirm receipt because your assistant is probably not going to speak to them. There's going to be a gatekeeper. There usually is. So your assistant's going to speak to their assistant, and your assistant is simply asking to confirm receipt of the book. That's it. And then, hey, your boss got the book. My boss wanted to make sure it got in their hands. How about we set them up on like a 15-minute exploratory phone call? How would that be? Think that'd be okay with your boss? Sometimes it's not. Oftentimes it is. It's just about numbers. You don't have to do anything. I mean, you can do this with $100 a week, right? And I'm talking about paying an assistant because it's only a couple of hours a week. At most, they would be making telephone calls. And you're only going to send out 5 books. You can have a book printed for $5 and then mail it for another couple. Worst case scenario, let's call it 10. That's $50 a week plus an assistant, another $50 a week. For $100 a week, I mean, you could book yourself out. You could be known in associations, conferences, organizations, whatever. Wherever you want to be known to sell whatever big thing you're trying to sell. Maybe it's you as a speaker, etc. This is what you need to do. It's not complicated. It does take consistency. So simple doesn't equal easy, right? This is simple. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But those that do it reap the rewards. So aim. A is aim. Use your book in every way possible. It's your best asset. I gave you a bunch of different ways to do that. Past and current clients, number 1, joint ventures, affiliates, strategic partnerships, sphere of influence, business groups, etc., like chambers, entrepreneur groups, masterminds, industry associations. A, then connect. It's about people. Don't ever forget that. Your book is going to do the heavy lifting, but it doesn't get people necessarily across the finish line. You still need to get that deal across the finish line. And then E, take consistent action, execute. Mail the books out. Set a system in place, sticky notes, personal touch, follow up with a call, and then book you. And then you do your magic. And guess what? You may be terrible, right? You may not even know all of what it is. Maybe it's the first time you're ever going to ask for a fee to speak. There's always somebody's first time. That is totally fine. Amy Dix, the very first time she received a fee for speaking, it was $250. She didn't know what she was doing. Within a year of that, she was earning $5,000 to as much as $10,000 a speech. She was booked out, 98 speaking engagements paid over an 18-month period, did over $1 million in speaking fees. So it's got to start somewhere. Don't be afraid of small beginnings. Just get it started and just be consistent. When you do that, I promise you, you will rock.